Hello everyone, welcome to Opinions That Matter. Well, last month we got an opportunity to look at the journey of a startup from 0 to 100 crore club. This time we get to speak with an organization that has been a witness to the changing dynamics of the Indian pharma industry. Ms. Aditi Kare is the third generation promoter of Indoco Remedies Ltd. Today, at the helm of operations, she is steering the organization to newer heights while keeping the essence of the mission and vision envisioned by the founding members of the company intact. Ma'am, welcome to Opinions That Matter. Now, one question, ma'am, that I have always wondered about is the name Indoco. Tell us the story behind this unique name for the organization.
So, Indoco Remedies Limited is in its 75th year of operations, and I'm the third generation in business. The company was founded by my grandfather. We've had very humble beginnings, So, he started selling medicines on a bicycle in the villages of Goa, then went on to set up a shop, eventually got into wholesale. And Goa then was under Portuguese rule. So, he used to import from the continent and sell in Goa. One of the companies he was importing from asked him to take up distributorship for western region of Maharashtra. Condition was that he set up shop in Mumbai. He came to Bombay, started a trading company called Indo-Continental Trading Company in 1945. 47, India became independent, and one of the first things our founding fathers did to encourage indigenous manufacturing of pharmaceuticals was sort of banned a lot of import. Govind Ramnath Kare, late Sri Govind Ramnath Kare, our founder and my grandfather, he actually decided to take up this opportunity, and that is how Indo-Continental became Indoco. We actually have an establishment registration certificate of 23rd of August 1947, 7 days after independence.
So, would I be correct in saying that the vision and mission of the founding members of Indoco were more aligned to the nation's need at that particular point in time? Now, today the opportunities in the domestic and global markets have changed dramatically. How have you realigned to this as an organization?
So, what was the vision of the founders? The vision of the founders was to then make quality medicines available at affordable prices to the Indian population. We continue with that vision, only it has now got a little broader. Obviously, post the early 90s and the liberalization of the world and the opportunities that India had to become a pharmacy to the world, we grabbed those opportunities as well. So today, Indoco supplies to over 50 nations of the world in addition to India. The Indian business is about 60% of our top line, but we do supply to Europe, to US, other regulated markets like South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, emerging markets like Asia and Africa, French West Africa in particular, and several other geographies. So the vision has, as I said, got broader. It is now to supply quality, affordable medicines to the globe. Supply and develop. So as we were growing, it was management's vision that we should also get into research, make difficult to do products. So today we boast, for the year completed, we've ended with a turnover of 1200 crore. We have an infrastructure we can boast of 8 manufacturing sites, most of which have approvals from US FDA, UK MHRA, EU GMP, and many of the other global regulatory authorities. An R&D center with over 300 scientists working from everything from non-infringing process of development on APIs right up to filing ECTDs from our regulatory affairs team. In addition, a few years ago, Indoco got backward integrated into the APIs when we realized we wanted to get into US as a serious player and wanted to be in control of our starting materials. There are many success stories in the Indian market of companies which forward integrated from API players into formulations. We must be the very few who backward integrated from a formulation player into an API player as well. So today most of our ANDAs which we have filed in US, we are backward integrated on the API side. We also acquired a CRO a few years ago from Nicholas. So today Indoco has its own clinical research organization. We have a small services division which does difficult analytical testing. So analytical services are being offered. So end to end, from development of API, development of formulations, manufacturing of formulations, sales and marketing, distribution, and offering services. So today Indoco is an end-to-end operation. We are very proud of what we have achieved. Indoco family includes around 6,000 people, 2,300 field sales officers, and around 25 CNF agents. So it's a large operations today, but the vision and mission stay the same. Our founder also had this very clear objective. He had not much education and came from a very impoverished background. So he always wanted to give back to society. In Marathi, we call it Samajache Rin. It's an obligation. Indoco, today, our CSR program, which is called Sumati Sangopan, continues to strive to do what the founder wanted, give back to society. So we work with the aged and children who are unfortunate and underprivileged, and work with them to create a healthier and better environment.
What about the operational framework to grab these market opportunities? How have you managed that aspect to ensure Indoco is keeping up with the changing times?
As you know, we operate in a very fragmented environment, right? There are hundreds of recognized pharmaceutical companies in India, and almost everybody operates in the same business environment. Most of us have value-added generics, which are the same kind of products. One has to recognize one's own strengths. This is a business where you either need to have a strength in a therapy, or you need to have a strength created with the doctor fraternity, or reach. And then you must maximize that advantage. If you look at Indoco today, we have three clear baskets of products. We have the acute, we have the subchronic, and the chronic. Within subchronic, again, we are very strong in dental, and we also have other subchronics like ophthalmics and gynecology products. So it was very clear that, especially for me, I got a legacy of the acute. So at one time, most of Indoco's products were in pure acute therapy. Most of our prescriptions came from the general practitioner. And we had a very large presence only in the south and the west. Over the years, what we have done at Indoco is taken these strengths and harnessed the opportunities in the environment. So today we are present across with 8 marketing divisions. We are present across most therapies. Acute does dominate even today because of the strengths of the brands created. So these brands today though enjoy support not just from general practitioners but also from other mass specialists like pediatricians, ENTs, chest, consultant physicians. And that's how we have driven those brands. So products like Cyclopam, which are age-old, products like Febrex Plus, if you look at the character of prescription today, we continue to get, like the market does, around 46-48% from the general practitioner. But we have also driven the brands very nicely with the mass specialists. And I think that is the success of how the brands have grown. The other success story is the reach. With our 25 carry forward agents, with a micro interior reach, Indoco today is more extra-urban than urban, if you ask me. And that is very, very significant when you have a high acute portfolio. Because for acute products, a patient needs to get the product when he has to buy it. So availability and reach become very important. Almost more than 50% of our business and our prescriptions come from extra-urban areas. That is our real strength. Therefore, the distribution reach created, working with channel partners, especially in these times when there is so much disruption happening in the supply chain. The manner in which we build relationships with our CNF agents, because they are our eyes and ears in the market for what is happening, and that helped us to stay in touch with these changes. We worked with them. Today we created a digital interface that allows us to reach directly with our stockists. So 98% of the orders that are booked on our system today are through the digital framework. The man is still very important. He actually goes and asks for the order, but the digital order collection, processing, the entire supply chain side, the way we have worked with our channel partners, that has really helped us. On the operations side, today we have 8 manufacturing sites and across the whole geography of India. So we have 4 sites in Goa, we have 3 in Baddi, we have 1 in Aurangabad, we have API sites in Maharashtra. This really helped us, especially in the COVID times.
Ma'am, you just mentioned disruption in the supply chain during COVID waves. How did you tide over this challenge?
In the first wave of COVID, we had a lot of logistic related issues, getting product down south from north, from the other sites where we get a lot of third party manufacturing done or loan license. By the time the second wave came, our logistics and supply chain and production planning had already learned from the earlier challenges. So this time around, there was a good distribution, geographical distribution of manufacturing sites from where product would be got. There was a better planning of raw material, starting material availability. There were several times in this period, especially in the third wave, where we might have needed 4 times of our projected or normal units sold, especially in respiratory and anti-infective segments. There was excellent coordination between production planning and control, forecasting and distribution. This allowed us to actually close some of these very challenging months with a very, very low order book lost because of non-availability of product.
Okay, so one question that I'm sure everyone in the audience is looking forward to is to ask about the strategies adopted by Indoco in achieving a balance between the prescription and the OTX portfolios. Today, Indoco is among a few of those very successful companies that have a strong presence in both. How are you doing that?
So balancing the RX and the OTX, the whole of RX is in the X of OTX. Frankly, that is how we balanced it. We concentrate. At Indoco, we believe in sticking to our core. So what is our core strength? Today, Indoco is ranked on a MAT basis 27th in retail audit, but the strength is prescription generation. Okay, because of the higher amount of acute in our basket, our prescriptions don't run over a very long period. That probably makes us a smaller company by revenue. But if you look at the number of prescriptions we generate, you'll be surprised at how many of the top players are below us. So our real strength is prescription generation, and within the basket we have continued to concentrate on prescription generation. We depend on the repeat purchase by the patient who has got that first prescription. We continue to focus on that. We have never diluted that. Having said that, the entire post-COVID digital phase has given an excellent connect to the end user. So what we've started doing now is strategically using digital to reach out to the end users, to reach out to the patients, so that they are better informed of the treatment options. We have several therapies which have a very high OTX element to it. Respiratory, stomatologicals. In stomatologicals, we compete for many of our products on the complete OTC products. There are many OTC brands available, but we have always still stuck to working with the physicians, so they prescribe a desensitizing toothpaste. But we have now started a strategic initiative in digital so that the end users of our products, if you look at the character of our dental prescriptions or how our products are sold, Sensodent for example, which competes with Sensodyne, you have some very, very loyal users. They do not move to the OTC brand. So the prescription is very important for the OTX. But there are many things that have to be done if you have to be a successful OTX player. The most important thing is to ensure that your product is available. So our reach in distribution, our identification of specific stockists for dental ophthal products who are not general stockists, and ensure that the product is picked up and made available. Our reach through various digital media so that our patients are informed. We have products which can satisfy your unmet needs. This is how we have managed to balance the basket. But honestly, in a single statement, we have not lost focus on the prescription. And that is how we have balanced our basket. We do not have any frank OTC products. We have OTX products. Yes, going forward, there are some sections like dental where OTX, going frank OTX could expand our market, and we will take baby steps there. If you study the OTX segment of dental also, although there is a separate distribution channel to reach the FMCG, the steady channel of going through our stockists itself fulfills a large part of even the OTC side of dental. So we don't really have to jump strategies. There is a lot to be leveraged yet, and that's how we will go.
Ma'am, please correct me if I'm wrong, but Indoco is known as an organization to nurture people from within to take up leadership roles. Over the years, Indian pharma industry has witnessed very high attrition rates. How has the talent acquisition and retention for Indoco changed with the change in dynamics?
Coming to talent and harnessing talent, managing it, Indoco is a kind of company where we, typically you'll see people join and like to retire from. It has been another goodwill we have got from our founders. Although my grandfather might have started the company, but Mr. Kare, present chairman, and my father, he nurtured the company from when it was sick. He came in 1963 and got a sick company and turned it around. Some of the key cultural things, ethics that we work with. In this company, we believe person is an individual first. Every employee is an individual. There is a lot of respect for the person. We also believe in creating managers from within. So if you look at several of our vice president level people today, many might have started the journey within the organization at officer levels. And I think that is great. So you need a bit of both. You need to develop talent from within. We have several programs in human resources where we develop talent from within. We select gems, youngsters who have spark, give them mentors within the company. We select people at mid-management level, sort of give them, create programs like Climb. It is a cluster of learning, so they learn from each other, they grow within the organization. So we've had a good balance of creating management talent from within. And of course, as the company has grown by leaps and bounds over the last 5-6 years in particular, there has been a lot of value add of talent from the outside as well. It is this fine balance managing the people within. You also need people from within to give you a steady ship, and you need to value add from outside. I think it is our environment as an organization which is very attractive for youngsters today. They get to come to work here and show a very high level of ownership for the company. It is today a listed company, but still has very much the character of a family. And I think a lot of people like that kind of business environment for work. But like I said, off late, we have really taken talent from outside and harnessed them. And we see all of them actually helping the company grow in a very futuristic direction as we go forward.
So now what next? What is your vision for Indoco for the next 75 years?
The vision is very clear. Like I said, we started with wanting to provide quality medicines to Indians. Today, we want to provide quality medicines to the world. Outside is a great opportunity. Within India also is a tremendous opportunity. We are very strong in South and West. We have a lot of leveraging to do in the North and East. We are very strong with some segments in acute. We have a lot of building to do in the subchronic and the chronic side. Within acute, we have decided, we were not very successful in the past with our new launches of late. Here there is a clear strategy now to have the early mover advantage with launches and then strategically drive them within areas which are already a strength for the company. So rather than launch, although in chronic segments, you will see a product like Aloja, which is the first time and only launch of an alogliptin, of a product which is a research product out of Indoco. That will continue to happen in the chronic, subchronic areas. But when it comes to acute, the new products will specifically be in areas which are a inherent strength. So you will definitely see a GPCP or a GP pediatrician or an ENT presence in the prescriptions. And there are several areas which have to be harnessed for us to build on. As I said, we get 48% prescription from the GP, and we are ranked very high with the GP on prescriptions. We are also ranked very high with the dentist, with the ophthalmologist. But pediatrician, we are ranked very high with the pediatrician. Because for every acute product, we have a pediatric product which is written by the pediatrician. And there are several areas for the company to grow as we go forward. Our vision for the company, as we started looking at international markets, which today constitute anywhere between 40 to 50% of our top line, depending on how the India business does. We have built an excellent R&D capability for developing difficult to do products. So we were a late entrant in US. So we went into the niche products of sterile injectables, sterile ophthalmics, difficult to do solid orals. And we have built an entire basket of ANDAs which will now steadily get approved. And if you look at our US revenues over the last 3 years, there is a multiplication effect which will continue for the next few years. So our operations capabilities, we have plants across geographies which can do several dosage forms. So the company today has some very inherent infrastructure capabilities, soft and hard. And I'm very confident that with this setup, the company is slated to sort of at least double, if not triple, just with this infrastructure in the next few years.
Thank you, ma'am. It was indeed a pleasure speaking with you. I also take this opportunity to thank our audience. In case you have any feedbacks or suggestions, please feel free to drop us a mail or get in touch with the client servicing team. We look forward to having you join us next time for another interesting discussion with an industry expert. Thank you again. Have a great day ahead.